Hey guys, it's Bear and welcome to part 2 of my build of Meng's T-34/76 medium Soviet Toon Tank. Last time we built the kit, what I'll do, I'll put up on the screen all the things we did. I'll put them up like on this side here, if I remember. Since then I've done a little bit more work. What I've done is I've done decals, or the decals. Let's find a pointy stick. There you go. There's one on the front here. So there's one here. Is it going to focus? Kind of. You can see it's quite bright. The ones on the back are not so bright. Is it going to focus? There you go. So there's one this side here. And there's a line here. And then on the turret, you've got the numbers and star on that side, star on the back, and star one and numbers on that side as well. And then I dry brush some dark steel, some Vallejo Mecha dark steel, and there's the number, and I dry brushed that over all the edges. So all on this edge, all on the, basically all the edges got dry brushed. I did the track as well, and I did the turret. Then I dry brushed some, what's that? That's rust texture Vallejo Mecha. That's a number, and that's a matte. And it's again same thing. I did all the edges, so I've done some edges in that bit there. And I did a little bit on the back. I did the tracks, and I did some on the toe as well. So I've done that handle there, and that corner there, just as a little bit of rust. And I think that's all I did on that. Oh, I did some work on the inside of the other side of the wheels. I used some pigment, some dark earth pigment, just for like clumps of mud on the inside of the wheels. And then I did the light on the back and the little light on the front. And I used some AK clear red and clear yellow for that. And then all we've got to do left on here now is we need to darken up the wheels a bit. And get them a bit more muddy and a little bit more work on the tracks. And that's pretty much it. Then we can give it a matte coat of matte. And then I've done a little bit more work on the base. What I've done is I've added a barbed wire fence, and I put a background colour here, which with the brown. And I used one of these, and I can't remember which one it was, but it was one of these ones. So I've got two Vallejos here. Is that going to focus? Come on. There you go. So they're the ones I used. So there you go. They're both brown. One's slightly dark on the other, but I think I might use this one. I'm not sure why. But I just done a couple of layers on here because it's sand. It's quite porous, so it's soaked in. And again, this is just a background colour, so you're not really going to see this. This is ready for the paint texture. So the mud texture paint and the snow texture as well. And the other thing I did was on the tank, in the box and box art and in the instructions, there's a tow cable, but it isn't a part of the kit. And there's actually a little bit that goes here as well, which isn't part of the kit. And I really wanted a tow cable on there, so I made a tow cable, and I stuck it on the front there and on the back there. I'm going to show up. There you go. And I made that the same way as I made the barbed wire fence. I just used some cotton, and then I put quite a few strands together, twisted it, put some PVA or Elmer's glue over it, and then painted it silver. So the next job is we're going to do some work on the wheels and the track, and start doing the texture paint on the base. So let me get set up, and I'll come back when we've done that. Okay, and we're back, and I've done a little bit more work. I've used some, what's this, Soil Effects Dark Earth by Tamiyan. Not a shampoo. There's the number there. That's what I used for the Dark Earth. It's just like a paint with sand in it. And I've used a little bit of silver paint for the barbed wire. I put a little bit more on. And I used a bit of the brown, the same as the brown as we used on the tank, on the wood fence. And I've darkened the wheels up now. I've stuck the tank by mistake to the base, but I did some work on the wheels. Is it going to focus? Kind of. Done some work there, and there's a bit on the tracks as well. I've done the tracks as well on the back and the front. You can just about see it. There you go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use some Tamiyan Snow White. There you go. There's the number at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit in a tray here. Give that a mix. There you go. So I've got a little bit in here. So it's like it's basically sand with like paint with sand in it. And we do a little bit here. So what we're going to do is just gonna sort of just smooth it all over this, just to fill up the gaps. Just roughly to start with. You can see that. There you go. Just pile it on and move it around. It's going to take quite a lot, but I have a full jar, so. And then we start moving it around and get wavy effects. There you go. It's just pushing it into the sand so it grips on the edge there. There you go, and then we smooth that out. And when I come back, I should have it done. Okay, and we're back, and I've done the snow effects with the Tamiyan Snow Effects White diorama texture paint. Ooh, there you go. And I've done a little bit of rust work on the fence with some Vallejo rust texture. I did find it easier putting the snow effects on with a brush than using the palette knife. I found it easier putting in a blob on with this and sort of then just brushing it into the base. I've added these grass tufts, and I've just brushed a little bit of snow effects over the top. The only thing left to do now is I'm going to put another grass tuft here and show you how I did that. The rest of what I need to do is I need to put some water effects, brush and water effects on here, so you get like the wet look here, and that's pretty much done. Then we can put a varnish coat over it and it's complete. So what I used for the grass tufts was I just used this stuff, which is basically grass on, I think it's on like a little, I think it's PVA, like an Elmer's glue. So let me readjust the camera, and then rest of the grass tuft on. Okay, so what we do is take the grass tuft, some tweezers, if I can get it, there you go, and then we just stick it here, I reckon about there. I'll stick another one somewhere. So there's like a little ridge of grass going down here, maybe here. I don't know, it's a bit close. Maybe under here, like that. So you just push it down, stick your finger in there, and then you get a little bit on the brush, like that, and then just pile it on. Looks messy, and then so we'll just brush it out that. And then you've got your, oh, it's a bit too much there. There you go. Wipe some off the brush. And then you've got your frosty bit of grass. Cool. Right, let me get set up and we put the wet effects down the trenches here down the roadway. Okay, and the water effects are done. So what I used was some solid water. That's the resin, and then mix some hardener in with it, only a little bit. I actually used a milk bottle lid, just mixed it up in here, and I use a very cheap brush because you're going to throw the brush away because this is going to ruin it. What I did with this ain't the brush, I threw the brush away. But what I did was I actually cut the nibs down about halfway to make it a little bit rougher. So what I did was I put the clear stuff over it, just very light coat over it, just to make it look like it's wet. And down the sides here, choose this side, down the sides here, and down the sides here, and then a very light dusting over the snow, so it gives like a little sparkly effect. And then I mix some brown in with it, some Vallejo brown, which is the same brown I've been using all the time, and mixed it in, made like this murky water look, and then I dab some on as puddles just going through. Excuse me. So I think that's it. I would suggest, if you do this, to make sure you varnish the paint underneath before you put the water on. Maybe put some varnish or some pledge on and put it on quite heavily, because this stuff will react with the paint and pull the pigments out of the paint, and you'll just end up with streaky lines everywhere. So I think this is done now. I do need to give this a clear coat of probably some matte varnish, so I might fence this off so I can give it a quick spray. I don't really want to get the varnish on here, so what I might do is cut it here, and then when we come back I'll put it with the rest of them that I've done, and we take a look. Okay, and we are done. I'm quite pleased with the way it's turned out. It looks pretty good with the rest of the collection. Some of them are finished, some are not. The one in the middle hasn't got a base, and some do need a little bit more weathering. I'm not sure what I'll be building next. I may do a ToonTank, I may do a Gumpler. I will put a picture of each one of these up at the end. So with that, I would like to thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Cheerio.